in Houston, Texas. It was held in NRG Park in Houston, Texas. In this concert, 8 people died on the night of the concert, and 2 more people died a couple days later. Everyone who attended this concert called it the concert of hell. Evan, please stop. Sorry, guys. Called it the concert of hell. Just when the music began, that's when the ritual began. And let's go to the next picture. This is what people were starting to see. As you guys can see, there's 8 of those fire thingies that represents for each soul that they're gonna take at during the ritual. You guys can see the portal right there, and the little mountains, that's the pyramid. And you guys can clearly see that blue eye right there, that's the evil eye. That's supposed to be the eye of Satan before the concert starts. And Travis Scott, you guys can see him in the middle as he's gonna start to perform. So when the music began, a lot of people, the sound waves felt like never before waves that they experienced. A lot of people started getting sick. And before he started with the song, I'm sorry. Sorry, my kid's right here. Before he started performing the song, he was telling people to hug each other, that he wanted to spread the love, and he was also telling people to put their middle finger up and to put it in the sky. So, and he said other blasphemies, basically as a way to, before the ritual began, to start flipping off God. So they were flipping off the sky, cursing God. During the concert, people started getting sick. Like I said, people were passing out. The music was, I lost the word, but the music was pretty much making people lose consciousness. And before they started flipping the sky off and flipping everybody off and hugging each other, there was also people injecting people with needles in their arms without them noticing it or feeling anything. And that's another picture. So the point of I can't go back, so I'm just gonna keep going. So the point of the concert that we just saw in the previous slide, that was considered a blood sacrifice ritual, which means that the 8 people that died at the scene of the concert, one of those fires that were there before represented one for each soul. So it was a blood ritual sacrifice. And something very interesting, I don't know if I can go back. Something that was very interesting that caught my attention was how people get deceived based on the lack of knowledge. That like we mentioned earlier and we mentioned last study, the Satanic Church was founded on April 30, 1966. And the Astroworld concert was November 5th, 2021. So this was like I mentioned, it was a blood sacrifice ritual. So they were celebrating also the anniversary of the Satanic Church. So basically when it happened last year, they were celebrating 666 months and 6 days, 666, since they founded the Satanic Church. So they were celebrating with a satanic ritual and a blood sacrifice ritual. And some of the people that performed there, like for example, Drake, he's another secular singer. He was born 66 months and 6 days before Travis Scott was born. So they have everything was planned in advance to create these rituals. A lot of youth went to this concert. A little kid died 3 days later after the concert happened. And that's the sad part, that a lot of people unconsciously want to follow like the trends of the world, or they want to go to concerts not knowing the significance behind it. So let me talk a little bit about the slide that you guys are seeing right now. So this is Jim, what's his name? I forgot. This one. Yeah, Jim Carrey, right?
Jim Carrey.
Yeah. So this is Jim Carrey. I watch all his movies. I'm not gonna say that I haven't. He's a comedian, and he got in trouble for doing this on live television on a night show. As you guys can see here, he's forming a pyramid with his hands. He is sticking his tongue out. This is the way that the Illuminatis during their secret rituals say hi to each other. So anybody who is part of these secret societies called Satanism, because it's all part of Satanism. I don't want to say there's different denominations because I think that only should apply to the church, but they have different different pyramids of where you stand with the Illuminati, with the Satanists. So this is the way they say hi to each other when they're gonna perform rituals. And because he did this on TV, he got in trouble for it. Couple weeks later, they killed his ex-girlfriend and he got sued because of the death of his ex-girlfriend. You guys can do the research. And let's go to the next slide. So here we have Lady Gaga, Jada Smith, we have Alicia Keys, we have Michelle Obama and Jennifer Lopez. So I want you guys to look at the video and then I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Can you guys hear
It
it?
doesn't have a sound. No.
Let me see if I can adjust it.
I think because when you share your screen, maybe you didn't put share with sound.
Oh, you know what? I think I did not.
So try sharing your screen.
I don't know if there's a way to do it. If not, I'll just tell you guys what happened in this video. So in this video, like I said, we have Lady Gaga, Jada Smith, Alicia Keys, Michelle Obama, and as you guys can see her pointing down right now. So Alicia Keys pretty much asked who runs the world. And we see Michelle Obama, you guys can see it right there, how she's pointing down, meaning Satan. Satan runs the world. You guys can, okay, so next, say the satanic hand symbol. So I'm gonna show you guys a couple of pictures of different celebrities and even people that proclaim or confess or say that they're Christians, throwing the 666. So here we have Beyonce, Jay-Z. We have all these different celebrities. We have Hillary Clinton, former President Barack Obama, George Bush. We have Rihanna, we have Eminem, we have Miley Cyrus, we have Beyonce again on the other side. We have Jackie Chan, we have Lady Gaga, the Kardashians, and the basketball player, yes, Stephen Curry. He claims to be Christian, but you guys can see how he's throwing the 666. So whenever you guys see somebody doing this, or like Eminem's throwing the devil horns, and so is the Pope before Pope Francis, they're throwing the 666. So they're proclaiming that they're Satanism. They're Satanists. And here we have something interesting that I learned. So this is the Black Eye Club. As you guys can see, everyone has, if you guys look at their left eye, it's bruised. So this is another Satanist ritual that they do. So whenever you guys see a celebrity with the left black eye, the black left eye is part of a cult. It's one of the highest level rituals that they perform. And when they are being pledged, they're being forced to eat pain. So basically, That's the pledge, that they eat pain in order to become more powerful. And normally you're gonna see people who are government leaders, people who have their own TV shows, entertainers. Basically, that's their form, that they sell their soul to the devil to get more power in the world. And there's, if you guys do your research, you guys are gonna find that a lot of popes have this. A lot of influential government people go through this. And as you guys can see, some singers, some actors. So this is another satanic ritual.
Claudia, did you say that they eat paint? Paint as the paint they used to paint homes? Is that what you said?
No, pain, like a pain ritual.
Oh, pain.
They
Yeah,
eat pain.
they go through pain.
Yeah, they have to go through pain.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Sorry, guys. So this is also called a soul scalping ritual. And they have different rituals like possession, which means that a demon takes over their bodies. And I don't know if Matthew joined already.
Yes, it has.
Okay, so Matthew, you can take over from here.
Okay, hello. Can everyone hear me good?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got the late bus today, so I'm still on my way home. But as long as my audio is good, I'll keep it rolling. So yeah, I'll pick up this part of the study. So yeah, now we're going on, since we're still talking about secular music. I just kind of put these three things together when kind of knowing about secular music, because a lot of, like, I think extreme uh, ideologies believe that all secular music is bad, which it's not. All of it is bad. That would be legalism, but there is a lot of trash out there that isn't useful and really isn't worth giving our time to. And so I'll read the verse that I put for that. So it's 1 Corinthians 10:13. So whatever you eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God. So it's just something that I'm learning to always do, really try to, everything like that I do, like even at work, like I'm not working for my boss or the school, like an organization, I'm working for God. So I'm gonna try to uh, put my best effort in anything, because I know it's not just for, like, my human boss, but for God. I need to be representing Him. So, and this is pretty obvious things, but just in case, I'll just go over it again. So one of these things that you have to really pay attention when listening to secular music is really look at the lyrics. And I was trying to get some lyrics of a couple of songs, but I thought most of them were a little too obvious, and then I didn't have enough time to go through a lot of songs that I thought were pretty. I didn't have enough time to go through a lot of songs. Yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, so like if the song is clearly saying, you know, unrighteous things regarding, like, sex, alcohol, drug use, or even degrading women, it's obviously not a song that we should be listening to. And I know that's probably hard when you have a lot of probably worldly people that enjoy that type of music. I deal that a lot with my friends. They like listening to other rappers, and I don't even have to listen. Like, I listen like 15 seconds into the song and it's already saying a curse word or something like that. So, and the second thing is really trying to understand, like, through their music, they're displaying a message, so you can really see their intention and their motive, and you should really try to depict that from a song, because every song has a message. It's not just a beat; it has a message to it. And then I even put a Bible verse with that, because the Bible talks about God not answering prayers if you have a bad motive. So I quoted. I didn't include the first part because was a little long, but it's from James 4:3. So it goes, because you act with the wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures. And that's what mainly a lot of music today is about, saying that, like, go have fun, go out at night, like get drunk, sleep with who you want, love who you want. And it's really trying to empower you when the Bible's not saying that at all. It's saying to deny yourself, to let go of your pleasures. And that's what and James is saying, that like if you want to pray for something, it has to be aligned with God's will. If I want to succeed in school, or if anyone here wants to get any important position, it can't just be like, oh, well, I want to have just a good job with good money. Like, can't think exactly like that. Like, everyone wants that, but we have to be like, well, I can have a more influence, and I can talk to more important people about God. So it's just something that I've been thinking about and reading about when I read the Bible. That yeah, I have to. I can't just be so quiet anymore, and I have um, to really start thinking like, man, like, don't be so selfish. You know, it's not about me; it's about God. And then the last thing, obviously, the artists. Some artists like Sister Claudia, and even Brother Ramo, shown in the past, like some artists are just completely fine with saying, who they worship, what they stand for, what they don't stand for, and then if they clearly are saying they stand for, some of them are building up the church of Satan or an evil entity, like, there you go. You probably should not be listening to their music. And I think some more and more artists are probably getting more bold with that, because we're in a society that embraces this bad. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see a lot more people just saying, "Oh yeah, I don't care," or "I do it because yeah, I'm part of this cult, or I'm part of this thing that gives me some, you know, I get endorsed or whatever, I get money power." So yeah, that's what I think. And then I put one last verse here, um, because yeah, I noticed, like, I was never the type to listen to a lot of secular music, because I was brought up in a Christian household. Like, the only secular music I ever listened to was on the radio, like in a car. And then my parents are always in the car with me, so it's not like I want to put anything like explicit or anything bad. So I got used to hearing like probably like old music, like from the 70s, or like 80s, like those cheesy love songs and stuff like that. So I never listened to like necessarily anything bad. But yeah, so it's been hard when you have a lot. Well, I do have a lot of friends, worldly friends, and trying to understand like their taste in music, and even sometimes getting a little bit rejected from them. Like, oh man, why don't you want to listen to this? Or like, why don't you think that's cool? And I think this verse really hit home. So it's in Ecclesiastes 7:5. So it goes, "It is better to hear the rebuke of a wise man than for a man to hear the song of fools." So yeah, I think it basically says it for itself. It's not always being fun singled out, or um like, oh, you don't want to go with the flow, like, yeah, but it's better, I think, to probably go through that awkwardness than to go along and just totally, like I said, listen to a song of fools. Like, what's the point? Like, I don't belong doing that. My ears don't even like listening to that, so there's really no point. um so yeah, we can go to the next slide if that's possible.
1 second, Matthew. I'm sorry, I got kicked out.
No worries. If not, I'm almost home, so I can connect with my laptop. Yeah, I apologize, everyone. I live pretty far, from my job. So, um, okay, yeah, I'm almost home. So just give me like 5 minutes. Um, why? Well, just I don't mind telling everyone. So I work at my school. So I go to Cal State LA. I work for their student union as a work under event services. So what I do is just like set up the events like tables and chairs or any other special equipment that we need. I work with the like podium speakers, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, and I got stuck with kind of a relationship today because one of my coworkers called out. So one of my coworkers called out. So yeah, I got out, and I live all the way up here and yeah, like Van Nuys, North Hollywood, California. So it's a little bit far. I take like three things every day basically. I take a bus to North Hollywood Station, and then I take the metro from North Hollywood all the way to downtown LA, and then I get another bus that takes me to school. So yeah, thank you for being patient with me. I appreciate it.
And thank you for taking the time to do this Bible study, Matthew, even though your schedules can be a little hectic. Thank you. We appreciate it too.
Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's like one of those things where I didn't think about it when I was in high school. Like, oh, I should. I kind of honestly went to that school mainly because I had some friends going there, and I didn't think about the commute. One of those things where if I was smarter, I should have prayed about it. I don't know if anybody's here is like. I know some people graduated, right? So I don't know if you're going to a 4 year or you're going to community college, or for people who haven't gone to college, I think that's a very important life step that you have to really pray and meditate about. You can't just go anywhere. I think even though school is something, I guess you can say even secular about our lives, it still involves God a lot, because again, it's not like, uh, well, for us, right? It's not like we are getting there. He's helping us along the journey. So yeah, okay. And I think
I got it back up, Matthew.
you right now. Awesome. So, and then since we were doing like how Sister Claudia focused on Travis Scott, I'm focusing on another pretty popular artist right now. It's Bad Bunny. I'm putting this just exactly what Sister Claudia had earlier about Travis Scott, that people's Satan's eye, the third eye. He wore that on the back of his jacket for the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 54. He performed along J Lo and Shakira, and then well, like I saw the video Sister Claudia wanted to show, so you already know J Lo's all up and organized with the kind of group as well. So I just put a little definition, a little bit about the third eye, and it comes basically from Indian spiritual tradition. So it comes from the Hindu religion, and it's from and what they believe what's commonly accepted is this refers to the Ajin chakra. So they believe it gives um to the inner realms and space of higher consciousness, and then it's also related to the god Shiva, which we learned was like Shiva the destroyer, right? And then other Satanist people also believe that it reveals the truth and superior understanding. And some other sources that I forgot to put here. Basically, a lot of Satanists are saying that the third eye is what makes you woke. Like, I don't know if people have been hearing that term around, like woke, but they believe once your third eye is open, then you're woke because you're not seeing just like on a plane level, you're seeing on a like spiritual level, but obviously like with demons and stuff, but they believe that's good. And they believe that God wants to keep us from that because if we're like that, we're kind of like God because we can see things that are only meant for God to see. So I found that really interesting. And then Bad Bunny in a couple of the songs, though he does mainly talk about just like, I mean, his songs are like, I don't know, so I don't even understand half of the things he says in his songs, to be honest. But um, when I do see them, it's just literally about partying, the license, sex, and drugs. And then there was a song though, it was kind of weird because it kind of referenced. I need to find it. Um, that was the song that I was gonna use for the lyrics, but he didn't mention something about like third eye, and then how it's like all revealing, and then once he got his third eye open, like he saw how the world was, and so I'm like, wow, I never knew he made a song about this. So I was like, that's crazy, and it makes sense why he would put that on his jacket. Um, and then if we can go to the next slide. So I had somebody else that I really I don't know if people knew about her. Pretty sure.
Yeah, there's we can't hear you, Matthew.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, yes.
All right, sorry. My fault. I think it's just my headphones. I just switched them really quick. Okay. But basically, yeah, like it's just uh um there's a small video. It was on TikTok. It went, I don't know if anybody's seen it, but it was pretty viral because I saw it. It basically has a video of her like acting possessed. So I was just gonna try to show it. I don't know if Sister Claudia is able to go back. If not, then I can try to log into my laptop and I can share.
I'm sorry, Matthew. I can't go back. I'm trying.
Oh, okay. All right. Give me a second to get my laptop set up.
It's just good to see this because especially now that what you're talking about, the music that's out there, you know, the how important it is. I think that was very, very good to add to your Bible study. You know, what things we need to pay attention when we listen to music, because music has a huge impact in our lives, and we know it because, right, when we worship, so the devil uses it as well for his worship. So yeah, that's very important.
Yeah. Thank you, Sister Angie. Okay. Thank you, Sister Claudia. Does the link work? You can try to click on the link really quick. I don't know if it'll take you to it. Oh yeah. I don't know why the link was in chat, but you can play. It's like I think yeah, 7 seconds. Oh damn, it makes you have to, oh okay. You have to download TikTok. Okay. Let me see if I can do it. I'll just have to try to join through my laptop.
and, and this is a great um, information that you guys are gathering. And I go back and forth with this with professing Christians, and you know, I always ask God for grace when I speak to them. Um, the majority of them really are like kind of like we're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And what I mean by this is I mean the discernment of things. You know, I believe that there's a difference between a biblical Christian and a modern Christian. And I have had the privilege of having heated conversations with Christians. Well, at least they say they are Christians. They actually defend these people. They actually defend some of these artists, some of these celebrities. And I can't continue the conversation, because it's like at that point, like they reveal another side of themselves, and I don't want to ever hurt their feelings by pointing out biblical context. So there's this one sister that I met who really idolized Beyonce, and she even told me that she came from a Christian background. I said, yeah, she could come from a Christian background, but the Bible says it's not how we start, it's how we finish the race. So it's very important, and I believe, and not to get drawn into the it's so appealing, it's so appealing everything that's going on, but everything has a subliminal message, and it's just gonna get worse, and it's gonna be right in your face, and it's really up to us whether we support it or don't support it. I actually shared a video with my brother Omar that I was going to share with Sister Angie. The pastor Ellen Parr did a whole segment on the new Beyonce album, and I hope that we really think about what we're putting in our ears and playing in our home or in our gadgets. It's just very sad, and it's very, very satanic, and I just pray that we have discernment for things like this. While my brother's getting himself together, that's all I wanted to say. I didn't want to say much at the end of the Bible study.
Okay, thank you, brother Roma. I really appreciate that. Awesome. And yeah, let me share my screen really quick. So, all right. So let me see. Okay, everyone can see my screen, correct? Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, I'm pretty viral. And yeah, I'm not sure why everything is in an Asian language. I'm not sure, but okay. So it's a 7-second clip video. So I'm gonna play it right now. I'll play it twice in case I have issues. And then yeah, you can just give me your little feedback.
One
Afterwards.
thing, Matthew, sorry, when you share, there's a button at the bottom of the screen when you're going to share, and it says something about audio. You need to press that in order for us to hear it. If you didn't click.
Oh, this has no audio.
Oh,
this one
okay.
has no, yeah.
Okay. All right.
You don't need, yeah. It's just literally, yeah.
Just
you'll watch it and
review.
you'll see what happens.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
No problem. Okay. All right. So, all right, I'll play it one more time, and yeah, you can already see the description on it, but yeah, I'll just play it one more time. Okay, I'll stop sharing my screen. Okay, does anybody have anything to say after watching that really quick before I move on?
The devil's work, completely satanic, demonic possession, live and direct, and everybody's cheering because the enemy blinds the eyes of those that haven't understood uh, the meaning of understanding that that's just demonic. That's just completely demonic. And like I said, this is a very personal thing for me because um, music is where everything is now. Entertainment is where everything is now. And this young lady was really nobody. If you look at her history, she was nobody. I believe that in elementary, like she was very insecure of herself, her weight, she had issues, etc., the whole thing. And all of a sudden, from day to night, she became a world celebrity. So go figure, but it is completely demonic, and it is a satanic ritual, I believe. And the brothers in Asia, they really haven't had discernment about that. Completely demonic. I do not support that.
All right, thank you, brother Roma. Anyone else have some quick feedback before I move on? I know I still got a little bit left, so I don't want to hold it up too much.
Just wanted to say really quick, definitely demonic. I don't understand how a body can bend that way. Wow.
Right, yeah, that's how I feel. It seems like a moving. Like I have some friends that are fans of those like Conjuring, those spiritual movies, and well, obviously I knew since day one, you don't mess with that. But yeah, it's like pretty crazy that it came out like that, and it was in broad daylight. Everyone saw it. But like Brother Wilma said, when you're blind, you can't see anything, so you have no idea whether what's right or wrong. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. Um, okay, I'm gonna keep sharing my screen, so give me a quick second. I'm gonna reshare right now. Okay, and I'll go on slideshow. Nice. So, and then now this is another quick important topic, and so I don't know why the thing goes away, but there's a question that some people ask, and I'm pretty sure even maybe some of you guys asked it too. Like, why does some artists, like famous music artists, why they die young? And I think it's like true, like wow, like they lived life, I guess, good for a little bit, and they have all this fame, but then yeah, out of nowhere they just die like in a freak accident, or they say they overdose, or anything really happened to them, or um, and I was thinking like, man, like why does that happen? And then reading, God's word, and then also Sister Claudia had a really good clip from God's Not Dead that I'm gonna show right now. Um, it gave me this kind of conclusion right here. So I'm gonna just read off the slide. So it goes, and the question that I put: ever wonder why some artists die young? And it's because there's a price to pay for that fame, and it costs their life. And Satan does not want to give them the chance to change. Um, and he killed them while they still serve him. And then
Exactly.
I thought about the biblical examples of Judas, and yeah, Judas did betray Jesus, and he was obviously in a way supposed to do that. He could have chose not to, but he ended up picking to betray Jesus. But there were probably, I believe that Jesus definitely would have forgave Judas for betraying him. But in the moment, he was so overcome by guilt, and he hung himself. And obviously he damned himself. Um, and it these like Freddie Mercury obviously was really famous. Everyone loved this music, and well, died with complications of his health. Obviously, know everyone kind of knows Whitney Houston's song like "And I Will Always Love You," and she died in a freak plane crash. So I think it's like wow, like why do you think these things happen? It's because Satan comes to kill, kill, steal, and destroy. And he knows that maybe there is someone that can actually still reach them, and he's not willing to do that, right? You made a deal with him, and your deal is your soul. And before anyone else can try to take your soul back to Christ, because as we talked about the last 2 weeks, like you're kind of, even if you are in Satanism, you are still not too far for God's hand to reach you. It's just very complicated, but you're not too far gone. So yeah, I think that's really what happens. And I'm gonna try to share this video. So I need to just put I can share sound then for Sister Angie.
Yes, when you're going to share, I believe, I don't know if you're going to have to take it off and then share again, right when it gives you the option
Oh,
of sharing. There's like a
okay.
little box on the bottom left that tells you something about sound. I don't remember the exact phrase.
Okay. Okay, give me a second. All right, let me stop share. And
Yeah, on the bottom left, it should say,
oh
I think,
yeah,
share with
that
sound.
yes, yeah, it does say share with sound. Okay,
She's not
awesome.
doing.
You're on with Mark.
It's me, Dork, your sister. You really should go see Mom. She's not doing well.
She hasn't been doing well for years. That's why they call it dementia.
You should go see her.
There, I gotta go. I don't even know what I'm doing here. I mean, it's not like you even know who I am. You prayed and believed your whole life. Never done anything wrong. And here you are. You're the nicest person I know. I am the meanest. You have dementia. My life is perfect. Explain that to me.
Sometimes the devil allows people to live a life free of trouble because he doesn't want them turning to God. Their sin is like a jail cell, except it's all nice and comfy and there doesn't seem to be any need to leave. The door's wide open. Till one day, time runs out. The cell door slams shut. And suddenly, it's too late. Who did you say you were?
Okay, awesome. So does anybody have anything quick to say from that video clip? I thought it was really amazing that Sister Claudia found that clip, and I think it worked perfectly with what I was trying to share. About many artists dying young. It's true, like they have a literally a jail cell there of sin, but it's so comfortable for them. They have everything they want, so they don't see that they have to leave, and then time runs out and they can't do anything about it. So just before I move on, does anyone have anything quick to say? Because I think it's just a very powerful clip.
I would just like to share something. When I saw the clip,
You're on with
and I saw the movie a couple of years ago, that's something that really synced in my mind, and I've carried for a long time. How she's the lady that was talking right now said what she said, like so many times, even Christians nowadays, they think that they have so much time left in life to turn their lives around or to live a righteous life or have a relationship with Christ, that we actually don't. We don't know what tomorrow is promised. So that's why it's very, very important to always be alert, to always try your best to live a life, and to practice what we've been preaching all along. And that's why I chose that clip. And that's all I want to share. I'll just talk at the end.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Sister Claudia. All right, so I'm nearing the end, so I'll just hurry up a little bit here. So I thought I just talked a little bit about astrology. Sorry it was late for the icebreaker. I made that icebreaker so if everyone was able to share, just because I know we're still going to talk about Satanism. So the whole point of the icebreaker was to kind of help the teachers, like if there was anything else that they want to talk about Satanism, that way they can keep it in mind for the future like weeks, and you can talk about what they want to talk about. But something that kind of went along with a lot of these artists is that a lot of them embrace astrology and embrace looking to the stars for help. And I found this image that's very popular. It's from one of the main websites that um, practices and help people with astrology. That's what they claim to do. So I'll read it. It's so the four principles of why they are interested in it is because it's stability in the face of uncertainty, intolerance for ambiguity, a sense of control and validation or self-concept. And well, that could not be any more wrong. Like all those four things are not even close. With astrology, you don't control anything. You don't really necessarily validate yourself because you're basing yourself off of stars that move. In case you didn't know how, the planets and everything moves. And there is no stability in placing your personality on where you're on just because a star during the month you're born in. So, and it doesn't help you become more tolerant of other people just because that's how they act. Oh, because you're a Leo, or I don't know. I always hear sometimes girls saying that it's very trendy right now, and it is a little bit satanic, and the Bible does talk about it a lot. So, if someone can help me out here really quick, I'm gonna read Deuteronomy, but if someone can read Isaiah, so I'll start Deuteronomy 14:9. So it says, "And beware, lest you raise your eyes to the heaven, and when you see the sun and the moon and the stars, all the hosts of heaven, you be drawn away and bow down to them and serve them. Things that the Lord your God has allotted to all the people under the whole heaven." Can someone please read Isaiah 47:13 and 14?
And beware lest you raise your eyes to heaven, and when you see the sun and the moon and the stars, all the host of heaven, you be drawn away and bow to them and serve them. Things that the Lord your God has allotted to all the peoples under the whole heaven.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that, Nathan. Sorry, I just realized I messed up a bit, but yeah, sorry about that. Um,
Do you want me to read it? I opened my Bible.
okay, yeah, please, sorry about that. Yeah, I just realized I messed up there.
Okay, so Isaiah 47:13-14 says, you are worn out with your many consultations. So let the astrologers stand and save you, those who observe the stars, those who predict monthly what will happen to you. Look, they are like stubble. Fire burns them. They cannot rescue themselves from the power of the flame. This is not a cold for warming themselves or fire to sit beside.
Awesome, thank you, Sister Buddy. Yeah, I'm like, man, I think I messed up right there. I was about to just find it. Thank you. So yeah, it's like two clear um verses that are saying uh what God's point on astrology is, and there's absolutely no need for that. Sorry, hello, my fault. Yeah, thank you, Sister Claudia. I appreciate that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was about to stop my share and fix that right now. I'm like, dang, I messed up. But yeah, um, clearly what God's word says about astrology, and all of this is literally just foolishness. Um, it's just a big scam from Satan, and it's sad that so many people are currently falling for it. There's really no truth to it, not even like human truth. Um, None of it's not even scientifically proven or anything. They just came up with this and it just worked. And obviously, it's not now. It's been during biblical time. People thought that they can use the stars and the moon and even the sun to predict things and use them, and it's not. It's not. First of all, it doesn't work, and it's just sinful. And then it reflects into Satanism a bit of just idolizing. Um, as Deuteronomy says here, you're putting kind of the stars and everything in the heavens and bowing down to them. So, and anything that you can replace God with is a win for Satan. So it does reflect into Satanism. And yeah, you can see it, and it's not even just secular music artists. I know Sister Claudia just put a lot of those famous people, and then a lot of actors, famous writers, and even filmmakers. They also embrace astrology, and they believe it's something that they can kind of use and harness, but in reality, it's using them. So I think that's very sad. Um, I'll go to the last part, which is witchcraft and sorcery. Now, I'll admit that growing up, I was always told from my parents or even like other people who grew up in church, like, oh, you shouldn't watch Harry Potter or you shouldn't read those kind of like books. And I honestly brushed it off. I'm like, these people are just being like crazy or legalistic, and it's like it's just harmless. It's just obviously fake. Like no one really believes in magic. But yeah, now growing up and then through all those things we talked about these past few weeks and on my own, once I started really truly reading the Bible, I realized magic really is real and that the people who use it is really bad. And I put obviously picture of Harry Potter using his wand, and I put talked about a bit the Doctor Strange movie that came out. I was pretty disappointed. Um, I I ended up watching it, but I'm like, yeah, it was really sad the direction. Like I can't even watch a Marvel movie without hiding basically Satanism infiltrating something like I used to enjoy. And he's obviously throwing the horns. Well, because the character is a sorcerer, that's already bad. I actually never watched the first one, but I only went with this one because a lot of my friends wanted to go see it. But I was pretty disappointed. I actually didn't really enjoy the movie. Um, it had a I think I mentioned it had a lot of necromancing. He uses a dead body in the movie to use his spirit, and they have kind of a witch's book, witch's spells, and yeah, it's just a lot of things that I'm like, man, it sucks. I didn't think it was gonna come to that. I thought it was just gonna stay as you know, more at least more good versus evil, but now they're really using evil to fight evil, which sucks. So, and then if someone can please read Leviticus 19:31 for me, please. I just double checked that. I just double checked that's the right verse in case I made the mistake again. Can please anybody please read it?
Do not turn to mediums or seek out spiritists, for you will be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God.
Awesome, thank you. So yeah, it's pretty. When I read like the earlier books in the Bible, really talks about that. So I guess back then there was a lot of issues with these people spiritually, and especially because everyone pretty sure familiar of how Saul's demise went about when he tried to use a necromancer to talk to the prophet Samuel to see why was basically David going to replace him, and then he was cursed basically from them because he broke God's law. So yeah, it's a serious thing. And yeah, maybe people now think of it as like, oh, it's just in a movie, but it's still a real, still a relevant thing. And then I have two more verses, so I'll read the longer one. I'll read Isaiah 8:19-22. Um, and so yeah, I'll go ahead. So someone may say to you, let's act the mediums and those who consult the spirits of the dead with their whisperings and mutterings. They will tell us what to do. But shouldn't people ask God for guidance? Shouldn't the living seek guidance? Should the living seek guidance from the dead? Look to God's instructions and teachings. People who contradict his word are completely in the dark. They will go from one place to another, weary and hungry, and because they are hungry, they will rage and curse their king and their God. They will look up to heaven and down at the earth, but wherever they look, there will be trouble and anguish and dark despair. They will be thrown out into the darkness. Yeah, it's a very powerful verse. Um, and I just like the ending of 19. It says, should the living seek guidance from the dead? And it's obviously a rhetorical question. It's like, no, you should. Obviously, the living should seek guidance from the living, and I think that's such a powerful uh verse right there, and it's literally telling what we should do and how the punishment for the people who fall under witchcraft and sorcery, what will happen to them. And yeah, no problem, Andrea. Yeah, so let's hurry. We can hurry up. I think the last verse that I have. So if anybody can quickly read that, please. Oh, sorry, yeah, my screen. If anybody can read it really quick.
I got it. If anyone goes for advice to people who consult the spirits of the dead, I will turn against him and will no longer consider him one of my people.
All right, thank you, Adrian. There you go. So, the witchcraft and sorcery is really big in Satanism. I still think about the pictures that Romo showed us when his study about the way they dress, the lady that goes up, the chant that they say, um, and even the altar and kind of all the lights, and it really is makes a lot more sense now, and you can see that it really is witchcraft, a lot of sorcery, a lot of black magic, anything you can think of, they do it. These people do it, and yeah, it's something that I was really fascinated in researching this. And yeah, if anybody else expands on this, I think it'll be great. Um, so I'll go to the next slide, and this is I think my final what video I'm gonna share. I actually sent this to Sister Angie and Roma. They would Sister Angie liked it, and she thought I thought it was relevant for what we're talking about, Satanism. And basically the gist of the video, it's just about this guy, and he's obviously attends church. He's a small Christian man, and he was invited actually by a witch into his house, and let's see how he reacts. So.
One peaceful afternoon, I picked up from my mailbox the strangest looking letter I'd ever seen. A chilling little envelope bordered with flying bats and eerie serpents whose eyes were tinted green. Now, the letter was addressed to me, so as I opened it, I froze. What I read turned my complexion 3 shades of blue. It said, my name is Isaac Horowitz. I'm a male witch, a warlock, and I feel I need to spend some time with you. Now, as a Christian from a little church with God's call on my life, a man of faith and power with a challenge to grow, I did what any saint would do in my situation. I tore it up, said, Lord, no way I'm gonna go. Then gently and methodically, the Holy Spirit spoke and reminded me we're God's voice to our nation. It's the church's responsibility to witness. So reluctantly, I accepted this Witch's Invitation. He had the house you'd expect, the old English cottage, a Nightmare on Elm Street special right to the core, the overgrown ivy, the gate that creaked when opened. Somehow you'd expect Freddy to answer his door. The doorbell rang, a hollow gong, the knob twisted, then opened. And Isaac stood before me with a grin. His jet black hair and well-trimmed beard flowed with his black silk clothes. My skin crawled as he said, "Please, come on in." His house was filled with every occultic symbol you could fathom. Hanging pentagrams and horoscope signs, a Ouija board and Dungeons and Dragons game set on the table, a crystal ball with an incandescent shine. Then graciously he handed me some steaming herbal tea. Its presence caused my memory to jog. I thought of every horror flick I'd seen when I was a kid and thought, man, you drink this stuff, next day you'll be a frog. Then he led me to a high-back chair as he meticulously began to unfold his scenario with evil patience. I was given a giant leather-bound book jammed with newspaper clippings, thus the reason for this witch's invitation. With eagerness, he pointed to each article with pride. He said, "I healed this woman through a Babylonian chant. You see, this man, I cured him while performing druid worship. I was paid to curse this man with AIDS by his aunt." On and on, page after page, delightfully he flaunted each incident for an hour without a breath. He said, "Do you realize through my understanding of the dark regions that I can make you rich or even curse someone to death?" I sat literally intimidated by his immensity and demon power, while his face shone with a satanic arrogant bliss. Then placing his hands on the arms of my chair and leaning into my face, he said, "What can your God do to compete with this?" I knew then how Moses felt when his rod turned to a serpent, and the 3 Egyptian magicians did the same. It's as if you're sitting there in that stunned moment where your faith gets violated, and all you feel is weak, powerless, and lame. I desperately and deeply prayed, saying, "Jesus, give me wisdom. I don't want to put you through some foolish test." Then a shaft of light shot through my soul, igniting my eyes with fire. God stood me up, and I threw the book back in his chest. I said, "Isaac, I'll not compare God's miracles versus Satan's. The issue's not God's kingdom and Satan's lair. The real comparison is the condition of your soul and the condition of mine. And you puppet of the devil, that I will compare." I said, "My friend, one day they're coming for you. The soft associates in your incantations. The friendly demons you think you now control. The time will come when you'll be lying in bed, wheezing like a dying animal, when those spirits lay claim to the rights they own to your soul. Then the room will grow dark, and the most hideous evil faces you've ever seen will come flaming out of the floor with a yell. The vile informants that promised reincarnation will claw your spirit and victoriously drag your soul to hell." Then I grabbed the book and says, "In that moment, which mantra, which incantation are you gonna chant to tell them to leave you alone?" I said, "My friend, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt what I would say. I am bought with the blood of Jesus. Let me go." I said, "Isaac, when you tossed that book in my lap, you gloated with a sinister victory. You rejoiced when you saw your name in black and white. Now I rejoice, but not that your council of demons are subject to Jesus, but that my name is written in the Lamb's book of life. Then Isaac jumped up from his chair and screamed, "You must leave now!" I says, "I will, but one last obligation. Next time, think twice before you rumble with a man of God. And by the way, thanks for your witch's invitation."
Okay, awesome. So that really concludes the study. Thank you guys for listening. And um, I think, yeah, that was it. Basically, I think the video was really good. I think Sister Claudia is going to share just a little bit before we head out into just a quick little discussion afterwards.
Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, everyone. I'll just leave it open for comments or questions. I don't know if Sister Angie wants to say something.